Welcome to the Sports Desk. I'm Mike Millstein, and now with your updated news around the country. We will start off with the NBA playoffs, and we'll start locally with the New York Knicks. The first time they've been in the playoff for 7 years, and it hasn't been that well in the win column, but they've played great effort in the 2 losses to the Boston Celtics in the Boston Garden. So far, they've had injuries of Billups at the end of the game 1, and in game 2, Billups didn't play, and Amari Stoudemire didn't play the whole second half. Carmelo Anthony tried to put the whole team on his back, and he did his best effort. He scored 47 points, 17 rebounds, and 6 assists, but they fell short to the Boston Celtics. Now over to the next series in the Eastern Conference, and that is the Chicago Bulls against Indiana Pacers. Who would have thought the Indiana Pacers would have given it all to the Chicago Bulls? The Bulls have escaped by the narrowest margin against the Pacers so far in the series. Derrick Rose will be the MVP in the series and the whole regular season when it's announced later this week. But the Pacers haven't gotten the best effort by the star player Danny Granger. They've gotten great efforts by the rest of the team. Granger has to have a big game if they want to win tonight, Thursday, April 21st. And the next series we will talk about is the third-seeded Miami Heat against the Philadelphia 76ers. And in Game 1, with 3 minutes left in the game, the 76ers were down by 1, but the big 3 pulled away. Chris Bosh has had a big series. But in Game 2, the Heat have just dominated the 76ers to take control 2-0, head into 76ers tonight in Philly. And the Philly fans should show their support for this very young 76er team. Then we'll head to the next series, and that is the Atlanta Hawks against the Orlando Magic. And this series 1-1, the only series in the Eastern Conference that is even. And the Atlanta Hawks took Game 1. Game 2 was taken by the Magic, but Dwight Howard has proven he is the best center in the NBA and should finish top 2 or top 3 in the MVP voting. They do need better contributions by Jameer Nelson, Hugo Turkoglu, and many of their supporting cast to help them advance more because it's heading to Atlanta, and that's a very good team with Jamal Crawford, Joe Johnson, and Al Horford. Now we'll head to the Western Conference, and then you have the number 1 seeded San Antonio Spurs against the Memphis Grizzlies, and this series is tied 1-1. Main part is because Manu Ginobili, who was injured Game 1 with a bad elbow, was not able to play. The Grizzlies took advantage by speed. They were shooting the heck out of the ball, and Marc Gasol and Zach Randolph took control of that down low and was too much for Tim Duncan. But in Game 2, Manu Ginobili came back and had 4 steals and was a huge contributor to that win. And that series now goes to Memphis and should be a great series the rest of the way. Next series is a very surpriser. The New Orleans Hornets against the LA Lakers, and the Hornets took Game 1. Chris Paul had a dominant performance, 33 points, dished out the ball to the rest of his supporting cast. They don't have David West, who got a torn ACL late in the season, so he's out. But Emeka Okafor didn't have the best games, but they got great play by Jack, Gray, and many other players on that bench. Paul Gasol has been missing so far. Then in Game 2, the Lakers took control of the series, even 1-1. But Kobe and Paul just combined for 19 points. And for them to win more games and possibly three-peat for the 3rd straight year, they have to get better contributions by Paul Gasol. He has to be more of a beast inside to win more games. They could beat the Hornets, but they have to get more preparation if they go against the Spurs or the Mavericks later on in the playoffs. Then the next series is the 3rd-seeded Dallas Mavericks against the Portland Trailblazers. And this series is commanded by the Mavericks. The Mavericks are 2-0, and Jason Kidd has looked like he's 23 again. He's shooting the ball. He's dishing the ball to his main man, Dirk Nowitzki. Jason Terry's coming off the bench, and Tyson Chandler has shown why he was top 3 in the Defensive Player of the Year voting. And the Portland Trailblazers is getting great play by Aldridge and Wallace. They need better preparation by Brandon Roy, who hasn't played that much. He is injury prone at the moment, so he's not getting that much play time. But if he gets more playing time and gets more production, he will be more of a factor, possibly maybe get more of an effort, possibly win 2 or 3 games in the series. Then the last series we got to talk about is the Nuggets against the Thunder. Game 1 was a battle between these two teams, 4-5. It's a matchup most of the time, a toss-up. But the Thunder got all of it with Russell Westbrook and Kevin Durant. The Nuggets got play by Felton and Nene. Game 2, they got Serge Ibaka and James Harden came off the bench to play great for the Thunder and blow out the Nuggets last night, Wednesday, April 20th. So right now, it looks like the Thunder will take control, but it's heading to Denver, so it's anybody's game at the moment. Now let's head to lacrosse news. For CSTV news, we will host a doubleheader on this channel on the Red Dragons, CortlandRedDragons.com. The men are playing Potsdam at 1 p.m. and the women are playing at 4 p.m. against Fredonia. So check that out. Should be a great matchup between these two top 4 lacrosse teams in the country. This is it for the sports. I will send it over to the man, Sean Toomey, if you see this. Say hello to him if you do. He is the political desk. So, Sean,